This is the weekly recap. Every hiccup on the map. From incident IQ to the fix on tap. What we learned last week makes this week better for you.
Hi everyone, Mike Simmons here, your host of the weekly recap. Today's April 20th. And what did we learn last week to make this week better? Well, I know when everyone was on the spring break vacation, HP decided to roll out a update for the BIOS to the 1.16, and that ended up giving us some BitLocker recovery key tickets. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Chromebook tips and then also being available. I know we're kind of heading up to those testing dates here pretty soon. So first off, the BitLocker recovery key. If you head over to Teams and you look for your Tech Tools folder, you just want to be in that SysAdmin Support channel on the Teams, and then you're going to look at the files. And then once you're in files, you're going to go to Tech Tools, and I would highly recommend that you do a shortcut to your OneDrive. That's just going to make it even that much easier to get to, so you don't have to keep going to Teams. And then inside of there, it's got the 1.15 BIOS. And so you download the 1.15 BIOS and you roll it back. So I know HP rolled out the 1.16, but we just want to roll back the 1.15. And the good news is we're down to only about 20 machines in the whole district that are on the 1.16 that need to be rolled back to the 1.15. It's a pretty straightforward fix. The cause of the issue is basically there was a trust relationship problem between the BIOS and the hard drive. And so even if you put in the BitLocker recovery key and they stayed on that newer version, it would keep prompting for that. It's like a death loop, and that was no fun. And the other thing we want to talk about is some Chromebook tips. So I know as we've got testing coming up here pretty soon, what is that next week? So April 27th to May 8th, we've got several testing happening, Chromebook tips. Now, there are times where even after you repair a Chromebook, the Chromebook itself is having issues. So you might have physically swapped out the battery, the screen, the keyboard, but it may need to be power washed and re-enrolled, and that does happen time to time. Or the Chrome OS just needs to be updated. Make sure that that's good. But one more thing to check for, though, is what if the student can log in elsewhere? So it's not really their password issue. They can log in on other machines, but on a Chromebook it's crashing or it's freezing. We've previously talked about this, about clearing out the Google Sync data for students. And I'm going to go ahead and link that in the email, and I'll put a video at the end of this video. So if you want to click on that, you can watch that tutorial. It's really easy, straightforward. That's a tremendous help. So that clearing out the sync data, that can also help if specific students are having issues logging in their class link or doing Chromebook testing. All right, last but not least, let's talk about being helpful. What do I mean be helpful? You're constantly working tickets every day. Of course you're helpful. I'm just talking about be helpful, be available. If there's a time where the ETC is like, hey, you know what? Can you please come over here and just, even if your presence kind of calms the fears, just you being in that room, like as they're about to start testing, it might be helpful, like especially if you have a gym full of students and they're handing out Chromebooks and then students are raising their hands saying, hey, I need help logging in or I need help getting access to my test. Sometimes there might be error messages that pop up on the Chromebook, and that's where doing things like the power wash, re-enroll, resetting the Chrome sync data, that's going to be your best tools to go ahead and fix a majority of those issues. But sometimes it might just be simple. It's real simple stuff. And then you may not even have to be there for too long. Just be there just to kind of stand by as they begin or start those testings. So you, especially if you're supporting multiple sites, you've got high school, middle school, elementary school, just kind of communicate, work with your ETC, just have an attitude of being willing to jump in and help if need be. You may not even need to be there, but just kind of proactively offer yourself to say, hey, you know, if you need help or if you have any concerns, I'm happy to help. Or even just give them the tips and tricks and tell them, hey, if you see this, that might be a good way to fix it. But I know all of you guys are getting tremendously good feedback with those 5 stars, so I don't have to worry about that. I just wanted to throw it out there as one of the bullet points this week. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's weekly recap, and we will see you again next week as we wrap up April. I can't believe it. Have a good day. Thanks. Better for you.
From Incident IQ to the fix on tap. What we learned last week makes this week better for you.